Hi, so today we are going to go over a yucky word, inflation. Ew. I know everybody's talking about it, and I just want to point out some things that I have noticed talking to some employers and thought you might find it valuable. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get through this inflation stuff, and I can get to some of the things that I'm seeing out there as I speak with employers. Americans with higher incomes are more likely to report getting a raise. So people making over 150,000 are more likely to get a raise than somebody who's making 50,000. We get into most Americans receive a raise of 5% or less. So about 30% received a 1 to 2% raise, 35% received a 3 to 5% raise. Majority of Americans with lower and middle incomes say raises fall short of inflation. So annual incomes of about 50,000, 30% say yes. I do feel that the raise is enough to cover the increases of the household, such as gas, groceries, etc., from inflation. And 55% in that same category said no, and 62% from those making 50 to 150,000 a year said no, it's not enough. And those who make over 150K said no at 46%. And I found this chart, medical care price at $1,000 in 1935 equals $52,548.04 in 2022. So this is just a chart showing the price of inflation for medical care since 1935. And these are annualized percentages. So you can see in the 70s, it really spiked almost up to 12.5%. And today it's down here in the 2s and 3s. So the US inflation rate reflects the year-over-year change in healthcare components of the US Consumer Price Index compared to the US inflation rate, which tracks the change in the US CPI. Healthcare costs have significantly outpaced overall inflation during the 1980s and the 90s. In the first part of the 21st century, healthcare cost increases tracked overall cost increases more closely. US healthcare inflation rate is almost 2.5% compared to last month at 2.475 and 2% last year. This is lower than the long-term average. So the long-term average, after looking at this big fat chart, is just at 5% for medical inflation. So me specifically, I like to look at medical inflation in comparison to CPI data because it traditionally has been higher, right? And for the first time, we saw it actually lower. So uncover year-over-year trends at the point of insight. So this is from that East survey I went over a couple weeks ago. So December over December change since 1981, the consumer price index climbed 7%. Overall healthcare prices went up 2.2%. So healthcare prices were lower than inflation. That is a big change in my world. 12-month CPI percentage change, Southern US region. So this is a change in percentage of the CPI. So you can see in 2009, it was plummeting, and now it is spiking here, similar to what it did in February of 2008. You can see that it is now, the percentage of change has now surpassed what happened in 2008 and 2007 in here. Okay. One of the most visible signs of inflation has come at the gas pump. Certainly in this last week, I've gone to the gas pump and said, oh my gosh, it's like in the fives now or higher. So seems like it spiked relatively quickly. And I think that even this information is old. I pulled the most recent articles that I could find all within the last couple of days, in maybe the last couple of weeks. So this is from the US Energy Information Administration, the EIA, and Texas gas prices were 1.51 per gallon, so $1.51 per gallon. In February 2020, the average price in Texas was $3.17, so it's increased 110%. I believe it's even higher now. I think it's in the fours over in Texas. Okay, so this is just looking at May of 2020 compared to February of 2022. This chart is showing dollars per gallon, regular conventional retail gasoline prices monthly. Okay, so back in 2008, I'm sure all of you remember, it was close to that $4 here. And I believe it's up there now. And then of course, we're looking at median home prices. So this is just all Texas. I think Texas is a great representation for the rest of the country. And there's other states that are certainly seeing these similar trends, right? It might not be the exact same median home price, but the trend is the same. So in 2021, it was $240K was the median home price in Texas, and that ended the year at about 290 and started the year at about 280, and now it's into the 300s for median home price in Texas. So that has increased. And rent percentage change in median rent price by zip code is a 20% average change of $1,500 in this specific zip code. Again, the dollar amounts are not exactly the same. However, a lot of the percentages are. So this is just a consumer price index. I'm sure many of you have seen it. It's just an overview of inflation, and then getting into some of what I've seen and what I'm talking to employers about currently. And so this is showing food and the percentage change from February. So at home food. So even though you're not going out to eat anymore, trying to eat at home, trying to save money eating at home, that's still up 7.9%. Cereal products up about 6%. Meat is up almost 13% since a year ago, or February 2021. Dairy 5%. Vegetables 6%, non-alcoholic beverages and beverage materials up to about 6.5%, other food at home up 7%, food away from home up about 6.7%, alcoholic beverages up almost 5%. So this is what we're seeing continued. Many employers are opting to compete for new talent with a flexible work schedule and managing employees at home. Even though fears of the pandemic are subsiding, employees are still seeking jobs where they can work from home. One of the reasons is these gas prices. If an employee hasn't received a raise and they can find another job that they don't have to go into the office, they're saving potentially hundreds of dollars a month and can make their dollar go farther if they're working from home. So this is a discussion that many employers are having and many employees are having at home. So I found this Microsoft study. It just came out a couple of days ago. The average workday has increased by 13% or 46 minutes in the last 2 years. People continue to log on earlier and sign off later as they did prior to the pandemic, and it doesn't seem to be changing. That was one of the takeaways from this new Microsoft study. It combines a survey of more than 31,000 workers at companies around the world with autonomized data from Microsoft Office 365 and usage such as Outlook calendar invites. Okay, so we've got percentage change since March of 2020, number of meetings per person. So that's that pink line. You can see meetings per person has gone up, chats per person up about 32%, average hours worked up about 27%, average workday span up 13%. And also I found this interesting that, and I've noticed this as well, most of my meetings used to be in the mornings, and now I'm getting more meetings in the afternoon, and this shows popular meeting times for those of you that are interested in more operations information. Might find that interesting, and the Microsoft study is available online if you want to read through the entire thing. School drop-off is a major motivating factor. So, just going through articles, I am seeing more and more employers seeking flexible arrangements and having a higher percentage of their workforce work in a flexible environment, and allowing employees to go and pick up their kids from work or drop their kids off from work. And this has been more accommodative in recent years than it ever has been in the past. And employers are trying to find ways to be more productive. They're also trying to find new software technologies, CRMs, online enrollment systems, online employee management systems, where they can drive towards a higher productivity number. Maybe instead of hiring that new person that they want to hire, they're spending a fraction of that on some new software, new system, and then dispersing the work over the staff that they already have. So that is a lot of the conversation that I am currently having with some of my groups about how to adjust to this new work environment, how to track and manage employees in a way where they're still seeing metrics, but they're not micromanaging the employee, and increasing productivity for each segment of their population. Okay, so that is basically it. I wanted to make this one a short one. I know inflation is a yucky topic. If you have any questions about the information that I've presented today, or any questions about perhaps some of the software we're looking at, please go ahead and reach out below. I have a link down below. I hope you're having a fabulous day, and thank you for hanging out with me. Please like the video, please comment down below, and share it with somebody that you believe will find it interesting. I will see you next time.